this, but I feel like the tides have kind of changed, and I want to see if people are still holding the same opinions that they had before. Because like now, I'm looking at Bundesliga, and like the difference between like the top four is like probably like how many points, like maybe like 10 points. But then I look at the Premier League, and the difference between
Less than that. I think it's less than that.
Well, the difference is way more between like Liverpool and whoever's fourth.
Oh, hold on, my Bundesliga.
Oh yeah. The Bundesliga is less, but then in comparison to like the Premier League and stuff like that. So are we still saying the Premier League is the most competitive as of this season?
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's still the most competitive.
Yeah.
I think that this season is looking like, to say, the Prem's looking like La Liga. You know what I'm trying to say? But if you're gonna look at, take Liverpool away, apart from Liverpool, the rest of what's going on in the table is an absolute madness. You don't even know who's gonna.
But that shows
competition.
For me, that shows the level that we're at now, where it's not so much of a golfing. Anyone can beat anyone in the Prem. That's how I feel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like that.
No, but it's always been like that anyway. But I'm just saying that this season.
No, it never used to be like that before.
Anyone can beat anyone in Prem.
Let's think about it. When it was the top four, and you just collect points from certain teams. You know what I mean? Your West Ham's, that's a definite, or you're this and that. But now the level is it's not the same, but it's very similar in terms of the access to facilities and, you know, having a psychologist, your nutrition, different training
obviously,
techniques.
when you pump in money, obviously the league's going to grow and your clubs are going to grow.
Yeah.
But I think that in terms of like I said, trying to take away the top four, even if you leave the like mid-table down to like relegation, that's still a battle within itself, because now what we're seeing, the teams that are fighting for relegation are now starting to turn it up. Like we're looking at Watford, who's just beaten Liverpool. Now they're fighting for relegation, and it's now their season starts. Their season starts yesterday. Their season started yesterday.
Yeah.
So now all of these teams that do need points,
they're fighting to get it.
They're fighting to get it. And even though, like, let's say your Arsenals, your Uniteds, your Chelseas, your Tottenhams, your Wolves, and all of these teams need points. So it's going to be even more hard, because now these lower league teams that are in relegation battle, they're you know, fighting for points. So I was supposed to score.
Spurs lost. Newsflash, sorry. 3-2 to Wolves. Well done, Wolves. Well done. Sorry, Sammy. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, but yeah. So I will still say that the English Prem is more competitive. I'll still put like the Prem. I'll say, I think I said Bundesliga, La Liga, Italian league.
Italian's stepping up though.
Actually, no. Actually, I'll put Prem, Bundes, Italian, La Liga, and French league.
Yeah, that's miles.
But are we just saying Bundesliga because of what happened with Bayern Munich this week?
I've been watching the Bundesliga.
And then with Spurs and
in general, they actually.
It's actually competitive.
Yeah.
I still think that La Liga is.
I don't think so.
I mean, they're doing better. The thing
I
is,
don't think so.
I think this season of the Prem is like an amalgamation of what's been happening for the past few seasons. It just so happens that City dropped off so poorly that it doesn't look like it is. Like, realistically, I think we all assumed this season it would be City and Liverpool fighting for the Prem again. Just that City are doing worse than what we thought they would, so it's just made everything look mad. But for me, the Prem has been a bit shaky for a minute, whereas the other leagues, they've been getting a bit better in terms of their competitiveness, like the Bundesliga. The French league has always been what the French league is, isn't it? It's like it'll mainly be PSG, maybe 1 year be a freak, and something will happen, but generally be PSG. I feel like I think the Bundesliga it's a bit tight. I think Bayern will still win it, but it looks less like it's going to be the Prem with the 22-point gap thing. I think this season is just it's like what's the word, cheesy and all that, but it just happens that everyone else is weirdly doing the whole transition thing seriously now, where you've got Arsenal got a new manager in between, and it's a new guy. Chelsea transfer ban with a new manager, Man United with Ollie, and then the whole kind of thing with the whole, and then certain their players aren't fit or whatever it is. And then it's like, so there's all these things happening at the same time. Spurs losing Poch, and you get Jones. It's just like, it just so happens it's the time where Liverpool are doing fantastic. You can't take that away from it, but it just so happens they're doing that at the same time when everyone else is now doing Shaka every which place, and it's like, it's a bit of a madness.
You know why I find it interesting, because we're saying that the Premier is the most competitive, but even take this week for example. So we're looking at the teams that are fighting for top 4. The tournament are going to lose. Chelsea drew. United drew. Who else is in around?
Leicester lost.
Like for me, if the league was so competitive, shouldn't people be playing their best and trying to take advantage of these situations? Why is it always just?
But all those results that you just said, that should show you that it's competitive. Then.
Yeah. Are we saying competitive in terms? Okay, for me, I think competition should be gauged at when teams are playing their best. How many of the teams in the Prem are playing their best? Because now, if now, what do you call it? If now, for example, Watford beating Liverpool, that doesn't really show me competition. That shows me. It does show. It is competitive. Yeah. Obviously, it is competitive, but it more shows me that Liverpool underperformed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you expect them
regardless
to
whether or
and
not,
they did underperform in the
regardless
match.
whether the reason, regardless whether the reason if they underperformed, if they overperformed, the reality of it is that the other team resisted whatever Liverpool were bringing, and the other team prevailed. So we can't now say that we have to now judge competition based on every team being at their best, because
no team can be
because at the end of the day,
you're not at their best, but just performing at a decent level. Because if a team is underperforming,
think about it this way though. Think about that. You're not gonna get a full season.
You're never gonna
where
get
every team is gonna be at their best. So at the end of the day, there's gonna be teams that are gonna be on form based on their run of games. There's going to be teams that are just on form because they're just winning every time. Like, you can see your Liverpool, they were winning. So
I just feel like it's a reflection, even if you look in Europe as well. Look at what happened in Europa League and Champions League. The German teams, they won all their matches in Europe. The Premier League.
Okay, but look at it this way. Okay, so then when, let's say La Liga, when it's just Barcelona and Real Madrid at the time before Atletico Madrid came in the mix, would you now say that was a competitive league? It was 1 and 2. It's either you knew who was going to win the league after a particular time. So are you going to say that then that La Liga is competitive because it's just Barcelona and Real Madrid at their best? Because week in, week out, they're not going to play each other week in, week out. So you can't necessarily now judge or gauge that. But within the Prem, I can't say that Arsenal will beat Watford. You can't now say that Liverpool will beat Sheffield United. Do you understand? No one can actually say that unless it's based on form, or it's based on how on how healthy your squad is. Do you understand? So I think that the Prem is the most competitive and livest league in the world.
That's why I keep saying, when people are saying, in terms of the gap with Liverpool, how far they've got up, and then you look at the rest of the table and you see how close it is, that just shows how rubbish all the other teams. I don't think that shows how rubbish that all the other teams have been doing this season. I just think that everyone's got up to a certain level now where everyone's collecting points off of anyone. It doesn't matter who you are, name or whatever. Sheffield United could go to any team and bad them up. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the season that they've been having and how they've been doing so well. Who else can I name that's maybe... Wolves are like a surprise.
Sheffield United, but to be honest, Wolves is not even a surprise because
they've been able to maintain it.
For the past, I think 3 to 4 seasons, Wolves have been on this journey of really.
But they're really stamping themselves as a
I agree.
But didn't we say that they were built to be a Premier League team in the Championship? This was like a plan. They had planned to be able to do this. The way the players they got, the money they got, the way they kind of set up the manager they got. They
obviously
planned it to come to the Prem and make sure they're minimum top 10.
Yeah, there's different factors in why teams or players are not, performing as a team or whatever. It could be confidence, it could be whatever.
So many things, so many aspects.
So it's just one of those things. But when you're looking at like the competitive levels, you can't put La Liga there. You can't put, because even like Bayern, like even like early this season where I'm looking at the league and I'm seeing like Bayern, Dortmund and another team, like they're all kind of like close. But before, it was Bayern steamrolling. Bayern would have won the league.
It by now.
Yeah, they would have won it by now.
They would have won it.
What I'm trying to say.
They won the Bundesliga by now.
So I think that the Prem.
But then that being said, when that was happening, people said that the thing was a farmers league pretty much. So now that the same thing is happening in the Prem,
I think you're never gonna. Everyone's always gonna pick at something. Everyone's never gonna be happy with it. For me, I'm just happy that it is one of the best leagues in the world, and you can tell like even the fact that we've got some of the best players, we've got the best managers in the world that are in our league. Do you know what I mean? All have come in and out of our league, and even listening to them, you know what I mean? For the likes of Guardiola, I know people say that he's a fraud or whatever, but for me, one of the best. And he's saying this is the hardest in his whole career. And you think of the things that he's done. Klopp as well. They know how hard it is. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I just appreciate the fact that you can't call it. No one could have called it yesterday. No one would have thought Watford would turn up like that.
That's fact.
And kill off Liverpool and they wouldn't even get a goal. Do you know what I mean? I wonder what the odds would have been for that. A 3-0. The odds would have been sky high.
And in La Liga and all these other leagues, like if you see a shock defeat, like someone like Barcelona or Real Madrid beat like that, you're in genuine shock.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I saw the result, but I weren't shocked. Like that.
But not like shocked.
Yeah, because that's what the Prem's capable of. Like anyone can get a result of anybody. Like for instance, a defeat that I didn't know will happen last season, but I'm like, okay, like when Crystal Palace went to Man City, beat them 3-2 there. You understand? You're not expecting it, but the Premier League can give you them things. Whereas La Liga, French League, Bundesliga, you're kind of knowing, these men are gonna get a result constantly.
But then again,